You see, in this, as you know, Dante started a journey, you're right here, started a journey with Virgil, going through hell, Inferno, and just moving different parts of Inferno, purgatory, and after that, heaven. So the thing is, in one of these layers of hell, he sees a ghost. He's in a form of flame. I don't want to tell you, we don't want to talk about who he was, why he was in hell and all. But the thing is, that flame actually starts talking to Dante. And this is what he says. Because Eliot starts the poem with this epigraph. He goes like, the flame starts talking to Eliot. And he says that, if I thought that my answer were given to one who would ever return to the world, this flame would be still with no further quiver, because he was in a form of flame. This figure, this spirit, as Dante calls it actually. So like, if I knew that you would leave this place, that you would leave hell, I wouldn't answer you. I wouldn't answer you at all. But since from this abyss, none has ever returned alive, if I hear true, he says that, just because I've heard that no one has ever left this place, if what I heard is true, without fear of infamy, I answer you. Throughout the poem, we're going to talk about the reason, the significance of this epigraph. That why did Eliot talk about Dante, and specifically this part? Just imagine, Dante is in hell. He's in hell with Virgil, a tour guide of a sort, talking to a flame, a spirit, and the spirit says, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you what? I'm going to answer your questions, whatever your questions are. Do you know why? Surprise, you're not going to leave this place. We all know that Dante actually left the place. So, the reason that Eliot starts a poem like this is that perhaps he wants to tell us that Eliot is talking to us from the depth, abyss of hell. Now, what hell are we talking about? Eliot is the person who experienced 2 major world wars in his life. This is 1915, and he's like 20-something here. So, whenever we talk about World War, we remember Hitler and the whole thing. But I want you to go back to the time, the turn of 20th century. England there, St. Louis. So Eliot tells us, perhaps he's trying to tell us, that he is talking to you and I from the depths of hell. Now, what hell is he talking about? Is it financial hell? Mental hell? Physical hell? Political hell? All? None? So Eliot starts the poem this way. Let us go then, you and I, when the evening is spread out against the sky like a patient etherized upon a table. You and I. Let us go then, you and I. Let's assume that I is Eliot himself. Well, who's you? Now, there's been much debate about this. Some say this you is a lover, this being a love song. Others say that you is you. It's me, the person who's actually reading the poetry. But I want to say, to add to this, that perhaps this you could be Eliot himself. Just like Virgil, that who followed Dante through this epic journey, Eliot is inviting you, himself, here, or a lover, to start a journey. Let us go then, you and I. So here it says, without fear of infamy, I answer you. So it says, let us go then, you and I. When the evening is spread out against the sky like a patient with the eyes upon a table. Do we have any English literature student here in the house? Why? Still a student?
Yes.
Good. All right. Any graduates here? English literature? Good. You see, whenever, let me test you. Whenever, where are you? Whenever what is this? Let us go then, you and I, when the evening, like a patient, if arise upon a table. We call this simile. Now, simile is whenever we try to say that this is like that. You don't want to know this, forget about it. But the thing is this, why do you think he is comparing evening with etherized patient? Now, we all know that before this, years back, they used ether to knock the patients out for operation. So this guy right here. Let us go then, you and I, when the evening is spread out against the sky like a patient etherized upon a table. The evening sky is still. It's not moving. Hey, let's freeze everything for a second. Let's freeze everything for a second. Let's start this movement. Let's start this journey in the evening. I'm going to ask you the question, why evening? Why not morning? Why not night? Why is it not afternoon? Why is it evening? Now, we all know that Eliot does not write words just because he wanted to write some words because of the rhymes. No, definitely not. We will talk about the evening, actually, the significance of this. So let's assume that this tape, this is, the whole thing is still. So let us go then, you and I, when the evening is spread out against the sky like a patient etherized upon a table. Let us go through certain half-deserted streets. Certain half-deserted streets. Some specific half-deserted streets, not any half-deserted street. Not any half-deserted street, mind you. Now, the thing is this, half-deserted streets, now again, people talk about this. Is he talking about St. Louis? Is he talking about London? Is he talking half-deserted streets here? An inward journey with you and I? Perhaps. Certain half-deserted streets. The streets are not deserted. They're not empty. They're half-deserted. Half-deserted streets, the muttering retreats of restless nights in one-night cheap hotels. Let's visualize it together for a second here. The muttering retreats of restless nights in one-night cheap hotels. They're not permanent. We're not going to stick there. We're not going to live there forever. It's just like one night and one night only. Now, are they one of those luxury ones? No. Definitely not. Exactly. And sawdust restaurant with oyster shells. Now, sawdust restaurants, so you see, in old times, they used to have this sawdust on the floor to absorb whenever they spill drinks or food or anything, with oyster shells, so they could clean it with a shovel very easily. So all this, with all these illusions, Eliot wants to tell me one thing, and one thing only. Hey, the places that we're going to go to, they're not one of those fancy places. Hell no. Half-deserted streets, muttering retreats. One-night cheap hotels. Streets that follow like a tedious argument of insidious intent. They're threatening. The streets are threatening. The journey that you and I are going to go, the journey is not pleasant. So if you don't want to join us, don't get on the train right now. This is what Eliot is trying to tell us. All these streets we go through of tedious argument, they're going to, lead us to a tedious argument of insidious intent, wicked intent, to lead you to an overwhelming question. What question? What is it? Do not ask, what is it? Shh, just go. Let's just go. Don't ask. You're a modern man, right? Right. I want to ask a question. Don't. Let's just go. Let's just follow. This is me, Eliot. I invited you on a journey to these places. They're not beautiful. But somehow I invited you to join me, to go. I'm talking to you all. Modern man. Let's go. Do not ask, what is it? Let us go and make a visit. Okay. In the room, the women come and go, talking of Michelangelo. Oh, by the way, this is Eliot. In the room, the women come and go, talking of Michelangelo. We're going to talk about it in two different ways. Now, Eliot could be afraid of these women because they're talking about Michelangelo. How are they going to see me when they're talking about Michelangelo? But I don't like that. The significance of this line, this is something that I like, is that these people represent bourgeois, if you want to say, part of society. You see, one of the reasons of modernism is people who are rich overnight. And of course, we want to show that. We want to fill this hollowness with big talk. So that's why we rush through reading books. You know what I'm talking about. Reading books, very quickly, picking the highlights. A girl over there once told me that a person has actually asked her if they had a red book or something. So you see, a red book. So these women could represent that level of society. Now, come and go, talking of Michelangelo. We are talking about the repetitive routine that we've been imprisoned with. We are just doing something. We're just talking about things that perhaps we have no idea. This is David. So in these rooms, now these rooms, a place that he's going to go, or in the mind. In these rooms, the women come and go, talking of Michelangelo. Now, Eliot gets crazy here. He starts talking about a fog. You see, the reason that many people are scared, afraid of Eliot's poetry, specifically this and Wasteland, which we'll definitely talk about next week, same time. The problem is that Eliot jumps from one foot to another all of a sudden, and it confuses us. It's kind of have a feeling that, he enjoys confusing us, but it doesn't work like that. You see, this poem is not for these women. This poem is a person who's been to hell and back. That's what, hence the epigraph. This is not for some, we'll talk about this. So, the yellow fog that rubs its back upon the window pane. I love this. I love this part. This is a kind of metaphor here. Hi. Hello, metaphor? Yeah? Okay. The yellow fog that rubs its back upon the window pane. Eliot starts being like, kind of personification. But during this personification is when I give human characteristic to a person, to a book, to a thing, or to an animal. But all this personification, all they resemble cats. Perhaps Eliot wants to say that I'm very timid, I'm very shy. I'm not a big-time person, I'm a modern man. You see, not you and I perhaps, but a modern man 100 years ago. You know, he's one of those people who's careful about his looks, his talk. He tries to be a gentleman. So that's why he stands in a corner. He's a kind of shy person. He doesn't want to go and win the day. No. Rubs his back upon the window panes. So he tries to move like a cat. Very low key. The yellow smoke that rubs his muzzle on the window panes. Now muzzle. We're thinking about a cat. Licked its tongue into the corner of the evening. Lingered upon the pool that standing drains. Look at that. That's Eliot. Do you know why? He's shy. He is indecisive. He's not certain. So he is kind of like a stagnant pool. Still. He doesn't move. He doesn't flow. He doesn't go and win the day, as I said. No, instead, he tries to just, play it in a routine way and very, very, very low-key. Let fall upon the back the suit that falls from chimneys. We'll talk about this later. Sleep by the terrace. Made a sudden leap. He's moving. You see, he's moving aimlessly, just like a fog. This man is moving aimlessly. And seeing that it was a soft October night, June curled once. It's warm. It's good. No. Stagnant, do you remember? Now this man started the journey in the evening. Now he's talking about October night. What month is it, October? You see, it's about to finish. It's about to finish, right? He's about to finish. So what is he going to tell us? We say, hey, I'm not January. My January is over. I'm not even June. No, I'm October. I moved as a cat through all these places, all these streets. And when I got there, it was October night. It was not even evening, it was night. It was October night. Perhaps he wants to tell me that he's not that young anymore. And we will talk about this. We will talk about why did Prufrock choose these words, October night. So far we know that Prufrock is uncertain. He moves very gently, just like a cat, slowly, and he's very meticulous. Walking around the pool, So he reaches the house when? October night. And then fell asleep. Goodbye to the fog. And indeed there will be time for the yellow smoke that slides along the street, rubbing its back upon the window panes. This is the cat. Now here he is at the door. And the story begins. Now here is where the story begins. There will be time. There will be time to prepare a face. There will be time. Here, Eliot is actually talking about Marvel. Andrew Marvel has a very amazing poem. It's called To His Coy Mistress. In this poem, he actually asked his mistress to stop being shy and, live the life to the fullest. So he starts like that. Had we but whirled enough on time, this coyness lady were no crime. Because we don't have time, hurry up. In this poem, he tries to tell the lady, hey, come on, shake a leg. We don't have it. We are not young forever. Now he says, there will be time. There will be time. You see, again, he's not certain. He's dubious. Should I do that? Should I not? No, there will be time. Should I not? So you see, this is all he's going to do. He's at the door, sliding his back through the window pane, taking a look inside. But this is all he's going to do. But he's indecisive. There will be time. There will be time to prepare a face to meet the faces that you meet. He says, I want to make the face. I don't want to show them my real face. This is persona. I want to make the face. I want to prepare the face. Psych myself, perhaps. So I want to say that, hey, there's time. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. There's time. This is modern man. The problem that we are all here is that we cannot make decisions, even wrong decisions. We're still lingering on making decision, not to make decision, to be or not to be. There will be time to prepare a face to meet the faces that you meet. Prepare to meet the people that you meet inside. There will be time to murder and create. Murder what? I don't like this picture. Murder what? The feelings inside, my fears. There will be time to kill and to prepare, to create. And time for you, and time for all the works and days ahead. This is Hesiod's, right? This is Hesiod's I think, one of the most important poems. The name is Days Ahead. This is another allusion here. In that poem, Hesiod actually invited people to work and actually make a better life for themselves in farms mostly. So Eliot is talking about that. Actually, Prufrock is talking about that. He says, and there is time for all the works and days of hands that lift and drop a question on your plate. What question? What question are we talking about here? Do not ask what is it, huh? Time for you and time for me. Aha. So, here it is. This is modern man. This is us. Come on, take a look at the streets. Take a look at our parties. People don't talk to each other. We have forgotten how to talk to each other anymore. We can't do that. We're just like aliens. We are alienated. We used to talk about it in universities. Say, hey, this is about alienation, that is about alienation, but we are leaving alienation right now. Look at that. It says time for you and time for me, and time for 100 indecisions. Not decisions, indecisions. Look at her, and look at him. Now, this is not about asking for hand, asking for a dance, asking for... This is a symbolic gesture of modern man being indecisive. This is what Prufrock actually is going to talk about in the rest of the poem. Time for you and time for me, and time yet for 100 indecisions, and for 100 visions and revisions before the taking of the toast and tea, and for 100 visions and visions and revisions. In the room, the women come and go, talking of Michelangelo. Now, the significance of these lines is very nice. Yeah, of course, we talked about this, the women who are talking about Michelangelo, okay? Now, again, he's not sure that how they're going to deal with him, or perhaps, again, he says, hey, I have made up my mind about these people, about these women, about these people. They are, very shallow ones. They just talk about Michelangelo, but they don't know what they're talking about. I'm better than them. This is what we think. We are better than others. That's why we don't learn to talk. We've forgotten to talk to each other. In the room, the women come and go, talking of Michelangelo. And indeed, there will be time to wonder. Where is he? See, he's still at the door. Do you see that? He's still at the door. He still hasn't knocked. So he's still thinking. All these words are inside. This is an inside journey that he has invited you and I to go to. And indeed, there will be time to wonder, do I dare? Do I dare? Do I dare? Time to turn back and descend the stairs. You see, this part always reminds me of the amazing movie, The Legend of 1900. You see, when he wanted to descend the stairs, it's just halfway through, he got back. We are afraid. We are indecisive. We are anxious. There is time tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. Forget about it. Not today, tomorrow. Let's do this tomorrow. How many times have you said that? Honestly. And indeed, there will be time to wonder, do I dare and do I dare? Time to turn back and descend the stair with the bald spot in the middle of my hair, October night. Yeah, actually this is December here. Yeah. So, with a bald spot in the middle of my hair, it shows that this person is very, say something, self-conscious. He is self-conscious. We are self-conscious. You see, we go there, which is very careful for us to see, how people are looking at us. Am I standing correctly? Am I talking correctly? I'm like, is everything all right? Do I smell good? What is it that we're going to say? What is it that we wanted to do? Why are we there? We don't care. With a bald spot in the middle of my hair, they will say, how his hair is growing. He's worried. He's worried about the women come and go talking of Michelangelo, My morning coat, my color. Now he's going to talk about his looks, you see? He knows that he looks okay, but again, he's worried about it. My morning coat, my color, mountain firmly to the chin, my necktie rich and modest, but asserted by a simple pin. You're fake. He's fake. Or he thinks he's fake. I am wearing a tie, but it's asserted by a simple pin. They will say, but how his arms and legs are thin. Cynical. Modern man. Cynical. We only see the negative things. He wants to say, hey, people, stop seeing the negative things perhaps. But, hey, I'm worried about them because they judge. We are judgmental, aren't we? We do this. We always do that. Do I dare disturb the universe? The whole universe? I'm like, should I come out of this cocoon of mine and disturb the whole universe? Shall I do that? I can't do it. Only if I make the decision, which I can't. Do I dare disturb the universe? In a minute, there is time for decisions and revisions, which a minute will reverse. Over 1 minute. Let's read this line together. Again, in a minute, there is time. In a minute, there is time for decisions and revisions, which a minute will reverse. Over 1 minute, all our decisions, all our revisions. For I have known them all already, known them all. See, people, whenever they want to lie, they keep repeating something. I didn't do that, I didn't do that. It wasn't me, it wasn't me. Perhaps, you see, modern man starts talking like that. And Eliot, actually Prufrock here, starts talking like that. He says, and I have known them all already, known them all. Now, another thing happens, starts here. Eliot does not see people. Eliot starts talking about body parts. And I have known them all already, known them all. Known whom? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I have known them all already, known them all. Have known the evenings, mornings, afternoons. I have measured out my life with coffee spoons. You know, this is the most famous part of this poem. I have measured out my life with coffee spoons. I haven't enjoyed it. I've measured my life with coffee spoons. Slowly, meticulously. I have known them all, however. But how is this possible? I have measured out my life with coffee spoons. I know the voice is dying with a dying fall beneath the music from the farther room.